Hey, Bio Team. So you guys have learned that particles tend to spread out naturally. That is, they tend to move from areas of high concentration to areas of low concentration. And so in our cells, we call this process of diffusion passive transport. And what's nice about passive transport is that it happens passively. That is, our cells don't have to do any work in order to get the materials that they need. However, there's going to be some situations in which our cells want to do the opposite, in which they want to move a particle against a concentration gradient. So here you can see we have a low concentration of sodium inside of our cell membrane and a higher concentration of sodium outside of it. And our cell wants to move the sodium ion out of the cell against the concentration gradient. So in order for this to occur, our cells will use a process called active transport, in which our cell uses an ATP molecule to pump the sodium ion against the concentration gradient. The ATP molecule dephosphorylates, it breaks off a phosphate, and that supplies the energy the protein needs to pump the sodium across the membrane. And so primary active transport is what you just saw, that is using ATP and transport proteins to pump molecules across the membrane. But if a cell wanted to pump water against a concentration gradient, it could use a different form of active transport. It could use a contractile vacuole, which is a vacuole that is able to contract. It's able to squeeze together to squirt water out of the cell. Prevent the cell from absorbing too much water and expanding or exploding. And if our cells wanted to transport really large molecules across the cell membrane, our cells could do a type of active transport called endocytosis, in which the cell membrane absorbs a very large particle or vesicle. Or the opposite, they could do exocytosis, in which the membrane releases a very large vesicle. And that's it. At this point, you guys have some practice problems. We'll see you next class.